So Netanyahu is threatening to end the ceasefire on the basis that he is unhappy with the etiquette of how Hamas have returned hostages and bodies. Um, and first of all, this is ridiculous because we know that Netanyahu is already breaching the terms of the ceasefire, so we know it's made up and fictional. Secondly, it's ridiculous because what is the appropriate way to return hostages or bodies? You know, if they were just handed over in plastic bags, as has happened with the bodies of Palestinians who have been killed by Israel, surely that would be a reason to complain about them. It seems disrespectful, doesn't it? What is the right way, apart from like one assumes, bowing and scraping and accepting full responsibility for the whole situation, which of course is never going to happen. But let's be clear that at the start of the latest IDF offensive in Gaza, Netanyahu was saying, well, it's war, so we're going to kill children. Well, it's war, so we're going to do this. And now he's saying that in the middle of war, certain etiquette must be followed, and he hasn't even specified what that is. If your response to somebody not adhering to the etiquette that you think is appropriate is to kill their children, you're just in the wrong. You're just in the wrong. And I think more broadly, we have to realise that arguments based around respectfulness, etiquette, appropriate ways to behave, they're just not good arguments when it comes to real issues like how we save the planet, like how we end war, like how we stop death and killings. There are times in which behaving respectfully can be discussed, and which fork should I use and how should I dress in the following circumstances, and should I cover my hair, and should I walk behind someone else in the process, or whatever. Sure, all of that stuff, but that goes out the window when actual human lives are at stake, and that includes issues around the way that Just Stop Oil protesters have been treated. The planet is breaking down, and if you think it's rude and disruptive to block a road under those circumstances, then you have misunderstood the scale of the problem which is being addressed in those circumstances. The ceasefire is already being breached by Israel, and they need to adhere to what remains of it, and they need to get on board with the rest of it, and they in particular need to stop their offensive in the West Bank, which seems to have replaced their offensive in Gaza. And in the meantime, we need to be applying sanctions and stopping arms sales to them. And this argument around etiquette and these humiliating ceremonies, and somebody kissed somebody and somebody was whatever, these are just not real arguments. The real arguments are about human life. And the nature of a ceremony, and whether it's to your taste or not, is just irrelevant. If that's the argument you're making, it's a fake argument, and it's been invented to serve an agenda that you already have. And you need to be very, very wary of accepting that kind of argument from anyone. See you next week.
Increasingly, the mainstream media is terrible at informing the public of what is really going on. I'm only able to make these videos because people are generous enough to sponsor me making them, and if you're able to be a part of that, I would hugely appreciate it. It can cost as little as $1 a month, and you'll get loads of fun bonus content and lots of extras from me, and my undying gratitude. I also massively appreciate it if you're able to like, share these videos and let people out there know what's going on.